Hello everyone, good afternoon. We're meeting today to discuss IIIT Hyderabad's course on Agentic AI, which will be launched on 19th January 2026. I'm sitting here with Professor Karthik Vaidhyanathan.
Hi.
Hi Karthik, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
My name is Venkatesh Chopella. I am the Associate Dean of the Division of Flexible Learning here at IIIT Hyderabad. I also am in the Software Engineering Research Center. Both of us, in fact, are an SERC. And it is my great privilege and absolute delight to introduce my colleague, Professor Karthik Vaidhyanathan. Karthik is an expert on AI and software engineering, this budding field that has caught the entire world by storm. Very quickly, he is an assistant professor in the Software Engineering Research Center at IIIT Hyderabad, and he has received a PhD from Gran Sasso Science Institute in Italy, followed by a postdoc at the University of L'Aquila, also in Italy. And Professor Karthik has been with us for the last several years. Let us start by understanding what all this talk about AI and in particular Agentic AI is about. So Karthik, we all have been hearing about ChatGPT, but now we've been hearing about this new thing called Agentic AI.
Yeah.
What is Agentic AI?
Yeah, that's a good question, Venkatesh. First of all, thanks for the introduction. Hi all, nice to have you here. So, you know, if you look at it like 6-7 years back, we have not been talking much about agents as such. We have been talking a lot about AI.
Right.
And we were also doing research at that point of looking at how AI can come into software engineering, right? How we can use AI to improve software architecture. So that was the research we were kind of doing. And what happened is this 2020, that's when, you know, GPT-1 slowly was coming up, GPT-2 was coming up. And when GPT-3 came up and people started using ChatGPT, it was all about, okay, you know, models can generate text, right? At that point, it was about, you know, I can type in a prompt and I can get some response, right? It was good because it was cool. I can, you know, people started saying that, okay, maybe, you know, this editors will lose jobs because, you know, I can give a text and it will edit it for me. So that was all fun, right? That was the initial part we were looking at. But slowly what happened is people started discovering that this language model has something more capable, because if they can generate text, they can also generate code. Right, that's the next thing, right?
Exactly.
If you can generate text, it means that code, and code is more deterministic. If you can generate code, it means that you can call some functions, you can call some tools.
Oh yes.
That opened up a possibility. So you have a model that can, given a text, it can kind of infer what you're trying to say, and it can generate code that can invoke some kind of tools, right? So you can think of it like, for example, if you want to book a flight ticket, right? What do? You can go to a model. A model might say, hey, you know what, Venkatesh, here are the suggestions you could take. But if you go to an agent now, what it can do is, it can automatically call the respective website, you know, say that, okay, I want to go probably from Hyderabad to Bangalore, you know, fill in the fields, book the ticket for you, send you the email and say that, okay, everything is done. So all this is autonomously taken care by an independent entity, right? So that's why it's an agent, because it's autonomous, it knows what it has to do, it has a goal, it can achieve the task, and the AI powers it, right?
Wow,
so, yeah.
Excellent. So just to understand this, ChatGPT generates text.
Yes.
Agentic AI generates programs which turn into agents.
Yes.
Right.
So you can say, or the other way also, that's a very good point, right? So also look at it as GPT or these models are more reactive in nature. Right. But this is more like it can understand, it's more proactive, and it can perform. So there is more autonomy in it, right? So it's more moving beyond that generation and doing some action. So it's from generation to action itself. Right.
So, so that brings us to the question of how these agentic AI systems are built, and I'm pretty sure a lot of engineering goes into these building these systems. So these things are not just, you know, answering things, they're actually doing things. They have this agency in them, right? They can take the initiative to do something on their own, right? Can you tell us why this engineering such systems is a challenge? And it's not just about writing a prompt. How is it different from prompting a system like a ChatGPT, for example?
That's an amazing question, and thank you so much for asking that, right?
Sure.
Because I feel that now software engineering is actually coming back, right? It's not that we didn't exist. I mean, of course we were there, but it's just that now software engineering is in the forefront. Why? Because now it's not just about models, right? I mean, models can generate text, as I said, but let's take this example. You want to book a ticket, right? So it might happen that I go and say to my agent, my travel agent, say that, hey, book a ticket for me. This travel agent knows what are my preferences, whether I like non-stop flights or one-stop flights,
Right.
what is a budget I have, what kind of flights I like, what
Correct.
time I like. So there's a
Correct.
lot of kind of persona of me that the agent needs to know, that the person needs to know.
Okay.
That is one aspect of it, right? And he or she should understand my preferences. They should be able to call the right, they will also have some kind of, maybe some tie-ups with Indigo or with
Right.
Air India or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Irrespective of the flight providers, they might say that, okay, I want to book the flight with this particular person and so on. Now, similarly, an AI agent also needs to have access to different tools. It needs to have some memory, different types of memory.
Right.
So depending on the context that I'm in, it should be able to plug in and, in and out what kind of memory it needs to invoke and what kind of tool it needs to invoke. So it means that you need to have a lot of best practices around these in order to build this in the right way, right? So that's where the engineering effort is. So
Right.
what kind of memory needs to go in, how the tools need to be invoked,
Yeah.
what kind of protocols need to be used, and so on and so forth, right? So that is where engineering comes into the forefront, and that's where we have this course, right?
Of course.
That's why we
Yeah.
are saying that we are offering this course on engineering agentic AI, and that's why we are also saying particularly it's engineering. It's not just about building models, because we want to go beyond that, right?
Yeah. So just to sort of understand this just a little better. So what we're hearing is engineering AI, agentic AI systems is not just about generating programs.
Yes.
It's building the entire system
Yes.
of interacting agents, which
Perfect.
of course is the big engineering challenge.
Yeah.
So maybe you could walk us through the course. I mean, kind of what will be done in the course. I'm given to understand it's a 12-week course.
Yep.
On engineering agentic AI systems. So maybe you could tell us a little bit, elaborate a little bit on the course structure and how it proceeds.
Yep. So that's a very good point that you mentioned, right? It's not just about a model, it's about an ecosystem, right?
Right.
And we are moving from a
Ecosystem.
model to an ecosystem. So it means that you need to have an entire life cycle of this,
Oh, yes.
right? You need to understand how to go through this life cycle. So that's where when we designed this course, when we were having this discussion, we also said that let's do it right from the inception to the deployment, right? So let's look at it like this, right? We said that, okay, let's start with the beginning where we just introduce the fundamentals. Now, if I directly say that it's about agentic AI, the first question you'll ask is, what is AI? What about AI system? How do you engineer an AI system? So we said that the foundations would be about what is basics of AI? What are the foundations that you need? What is an AI-enabled system? So we start from there, and then we go into the next step, which is designing the system itself, right? Now you understand the foundations. Now let us take you through the next part, which is what is an agent? How do you look at designing an agent? What are the architectural patterns for agentic systems? How they are going to coordinate between them? Because I said that there is going to be autonomy. So autonomy means how much of autonomy? When should human come into the mix?
Right.
So that needs to be designed upfront. There is also a lot of cost trade-offs, right? Cost trade-off,
Right.
performance trade-off. So that will be the second part of the course where we'll be covering the architectural part. And the third part will be about now you have designed your agents.
Right.
How do you deploy them? How do you implement them, right?
Correct.
There's a lot of frameworks that are out there. Like if you look at Crew AI, LandGraph, there are so much of frameworks. So what framework to use? What will be good for your use case, and how do you do it? So that will be the third part of the course. And the final part is, given that you have implemented it, how do you deploy it?
Right.
That will be the third part. So you deploy the agent, and then becomes a big challenge, right? Today, one of the things that you might be facing is that I have built this agent,
Right.
but I don't know how to
Deploy it.
evaluate it,
Right.
right? I don't know how to deploy it, how to maintain it, right? So that's the final part. And giving that triple IT flavor, we don't want to stop there. We will also ensure that you also get some research tinge out of it, right? So at the end,
That's
we
right.
also want to give some road ahead of what could be potential directions.
Yeah, also because this is a fast-moving area and there's a lot of room for innovation.
Exactly.
And it's virtually applicable anywhere.
Yep.
For any domain.
Yes.
Anyone working in any, and that's I think the tremendous potential and attraction of agentic AI is that it could be used virtually everywhere.
Yes.
And I think the important thing here is, and from a DFL point of view, Division of Flexible Learning, we would like to open up this course to as many of you as possible, not as few, but as many of you as possible. We have made sure that the entry requirements are modest and that you can join. And I'll have Professor Karthik, of course, talk about it, but let me jump back right into the content a little bit and just to clear my understanding, what is the role of connecting an agentic AI system to an LLM? Is it an LLM somewhere at the back end, or how do they connect? And would the student actually have to be doing this kind of interplay between LLMs and the agents?
That's a very good question, right? See, ultimately, why this all kind of happened, this frenzy around agentic AI, is because that AI is powering. So
Right.
definitely there is that small black box somewhere, if I want to call it like that, right? Which is the LLM. That is actually powering this capability where you can give a text, it is able to understand and reason on it, right? So it means that the students also will be making use of some LLMs.
Okay.
So in order to make it easier, we are not, we don't want them to use all this proprietary LLMs. You can also use whatever is available in the open source that you could run in your laptops. You have things like Olama that are available, or you could also use like Geminis which are available. I mean, you could use the API keys that are available and you could make use of it. So you will be playing with LLMs. Yes.
Okay. So that's very good to know, because I'm going to assume that those would be mostly available to the students who are taking this course.
Yes.
Excellent. I think so. That's one of the exciting things about this course is that it's very hands-on. And so when exactly do the students start building their own agents? I mean, that sounds super exciting, building your own agent. So when would the students sort of get to that point in the course?
Awesome, and we will ensure that you are there from the first week itself, right?
Okay.
So the first week itself, you'll start building something, and eventually we'll take you to the agent itself. Maybe by the third or fourth week, you're there building a basic agent and trying to deploy it. Yes.
Okay, excellent. I mean, that sounds super exciting. Now, maybe this is a good time to quickly understand what kind of background would I need to have to take this course? I mean, who are the people we're targeting who can take this course?
That's a great question, Venkatesh, right? Which means that you're essentially asking about who all can take this. So the first thing is, the good thing about Agentic AI is that it's a horizontal, it's not a vertical, right? May it be from healthcare, may it be from finance, may it be from business, economics. If you're from any background, the good thing is you can always build agents, you can automate your task, right? Just like how AI was, where it was a horizontal across multiple domains, Agentic AI is also going to be a horizontal. But having said that, if you have a bit of software engineering background, a bit of programming background especially, it helps, because then you'll be able to quickly dive into the details of the course. But even if not, we have got you covered, because in the first week itself, we'll have some kind of hand-holding exercises where we'll be giving you basic notebooks, basic prompts, so that you can get started, and eventually you'll be up with the pace as well. So no matter which background you're from, if you have, of course, some basic programming background, it helps. But if you're from any other domain, don't worry, because this course will ensure that you are covered.
Okay, that's great. I think that's very good to know. What would be the format of the course? I mean, the learning format. What would a student in this course expect each week, for example?
Yeah. So each week, of course, we'll have recorded lectures that will be going online, and we'll be supplementing with reading materials that you'll be reading. But apart from that, we'll also have a lot of assignments where students are expected to do these assignments. And then every depending on the weekend or the weekday, we'll have this live tutorial where students will come in, and we'll have teaching assistants who will be going through the demos and so on. Yeah.
So are there any particular platforms that the students are expected to use for this course? Or is that, I mean, what kind of environment would the students need in terms of some software environment or IDE or something like that?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? So initially, to make it more simpler and intuitive, we'll be using notebooks. So it will be Google Colab notebooks. So if you have a Gmail account, that would suffice. But eventually, when it goes to production level, or when we want to deploy it, we'll also want to ensure that you get the real feel of it. So we will encourage you to use IDEs like Visual Studio Code or any open source IDEs, but Visual Studio Code is preferred. Yeah.
Okay. So this is very good, because I think what I'm seeing here now with this particular course is this course is an excellent example, and in fact witness to DFL's mission. And DFL is Division for Flexible Learning at IIIT Hyderabad, and we believe at DFL that world-class education should not just be limited to the classroom. It should not be limited by geography. We should be able to reach out to as many people as possible in the entire world. Right? We're taking IIIT's expertise and bringing it open to the entire world. I think we're looking at, of course, a situation where people will be online, the courses will be online, a lot of this will be asynchronous, there will be assignments, and there will be, in fact, is there an exam at the end of this whole 12 weeks? How does this work? Do they present their project? What is the format in which would they be graded, for example?
Yeah, of course. So throughout this course, we'll be having different points where the assignments will be graded, and we also have a final exam that they're expected to pass. And that will entitle them with the expert in Agentic AI, or at least introduction to Engineering Agentic AI.
Okay, excellent. So how would I summarize the course outcome, and what could I say that the student, takes away from this course and is able to do something that they were not able to do earlier?
That's a very good question, right? So it also depends on the kind of context and background
Right.
you're coming from. So for instance, let's say you're a software developer
Right.
who's in the initial stage in the organization and you're trying to learn something, right? And everybody are talking about, agents are automating things. So this course will ensure that you also will understand how to build those
Right.
agents that will automate things for you, right? So that will be the point for a software engineer. And
Okay.
of course, we'll be having a lot of use cases throughout the course, right from basic, this kind of trip planning to, automating entire life cycles of systems. So
Right.
you understand different aspects of engineering agentic AI.
Yeah.
But wait, it's not just about software engineers. It could
Right.
happen that you're a product manager who is taking this course. You might be a
Right.
senior architect who is taking this course.
Right.
So for you, what is more important is you need to understand trade-offs,
Right.
right? If somebody says that this use case is going to be built using agents,
Right.
you should be able to understand how much time it might take, what kind of patterns may work, what is the
Right.
cost performance trade-off. So
Correct.
that is where this course also helps, right? Because you get to understand that aspect.
course,
as well.
of course,
So
yeah.
depending on the kind of background you have, we are catering it in such a way that you also have takeaways in different
Right.
aspects, may it be from design or from implementation, or it could be from DevOps, agent ops perspective as well.
Right. So, your take on how timely this course is, because the whole world is talking about AI, and now this is buzz about agentic AI. If I were to take this course today or next month, as we're about to take it, where would that position me? How would I be positioned in the industry that's growing around AI, which is growing at a really frantic pace right now?
Yeah. It's a very good question, and also it's a timely question,
Yes.
right, to speak. What is happening is today everybody are talking about whether I'll lose my job, what is going to happen,
Right.
will AI replace me? I think it's not about replacement, it's about augmenting, right? AI is really augmenting you. And in order to understand that, I think courses like these are actually the ones that
Very
could
good.
help you, right? Because
Yeah.
it allows you to understand how AI can augment you, how you could
Correct.
build systems that could augment you and make your life easier.
Right.
So you can also stay ahead of the curve and build something, because as many people say, this is going to be the decade of agents, right?
Yes.
So it means that by the next 2-3 years, they are going to be there around us, right? People
Yeah.
are going to build it. So why wait? Why not just learn, or why not start learning now itself?
I completely agree. I think this is, in fact, the best time to jump into agentic AI.
Yeah.
Because agentic AI is also kind of taking off right now, and you can kind of ride the wave of agentic AI if we start early, and this is the perfect time to start. Excellent. Let me also, for our viewers, give a little bit about the program itself, the process of applying. Please visit the website, dfl.iiit.ac.in/AAI. You will find details about the program, the syllabus, and other information about the fees and so on. Our deadline for applications is 29th December, coming up in a couple of weeks. And we also want to make sure that when you take this course, if you are in India, first of all, this course is open to anyone in the world. Okay, there is people, citizens of India, and also from SAARC countries. So if you happen to be from one of the 7 SAARC countries, you are welcome to join. There is a different fee structure, and also for other international students, there's a different fee structure. Now, for the Indian students, of course, this course also carries 5 credits. So if you complete the course successfully, 5 credits will accrue to your academic bank of credits, which might be useful for you later on when you apply for either jobs or other kinds of certification or even a degree. So please keep that in mind. I think this is a great opportunity. I am personally extremely excited about this course, Karthik. I can't tell you how much. So let us throw the question back at you. What excites you about this course?
No, Venkatesh, I'm really looking forward to what people are going to build, because what I want to say is, when ChatGPT came, whoever built it,
Right.
they didn't know what is going to be possible because of it, right?
Right,
You can just build a platform and keep it.
Yeah, and then
what
wait.
happens out of it is, kind of magical. So
Right.
same thing, right? We are here to offer this course, and I'm sure that I'll be surprised by looking at the outcomes. I'm really excited and looking forward to see what these people are going to build, what the learners are going to build, and I'm really looking forward to having you in the course as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent. I think it's your innovation of the students who are going to be in this course that's going to really drive this course. And I think this is a great opportunity for all of us, not just us in DFL and in SERC, but also in the students, the number of students. This is something very, very exciting because of what will come out
Out of it.
from them.
Yes.
Not so much
Yes,
of us.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So this is wonderful. Let me ask you for your thoughts about, in general, about what you feel about this course coming up right now with the students. What is the anticipation you have right now about this?
No, as I said, I'm genuinely excited. The first thing is, of course, behind the scenes, a lot of preps are going on. We are ensuring that you have enough use cases to work with, right? And we are also ensuring that there is a lot of leverage for a little bit of open exploration where you could also come back and surprise us,
Great.
right? So I'm really looking forward to what you are going to build with this and what you are going to submit at the end of this course as your projects, as your assignments, and so on. So that's the kind of anticipation I'm having, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, Karthik, thank you so much for taking the time to explain to all of us what Agentic AI is and also telling us about the course that you'll be offering. I'm sure you're excited. We're all excited. Let's thank Professor Karthik for the wonderful conversation that we've had. And thank you all for joining us. We're looking right now, we're peeping into the future, and we're looking at an Agentic AI revolution. This is the best time to be part of it. Thank you all very much.